I'm Muhammad, I'm a prophet because I said so. I have this hairy mole right on my shoulder, you know. And my bestest buddy Allah, he works for me though. I call him God to make you think I'm pure as white snow. In the damp cave of Hira I met this bad man. He squeezed me until I threw up the Koran. When I ran to Khadija in anguish and fears, she explained, "This is Jibreel," and wiped off my tears. I'm Muhammad, I'm a prophet because I am him, and Allah caters to my needs in every whim. His reward is that I let people think he is Lord. Then he lets me torment the people when I get bored. Now the world must revert and become just like me, and never ask questions and never be free. You'll become dumb blind Muslims and do as you're told, or your heads will be rolling your family's soul. Oh, Aisha, ooh la la, what a pretty dress. May I wear it? Your dresses get those revelations rolling. No, don't touch my eye makeup. Mine is too young for makeup. I'm 54 after all. My religion, Islam, grew like fungi on bread, due to people's reluctance to part with their head. And because I got rid of the people who think Allah's slaves can be duped to do things that sure stink. I'm Muhammad, I'm a prophet because I said it. I meet up with Jibreel when I'm in need of you. And my bestest buddy Allah delivers on time. These girls and boys and slaves and all these riches of mine. I'm Muhammad, I'm a prophet because I told you. My brothel in the sky awaits if you say it's true. But if Allah will find out in the mosque you did fart, He'll dump you in the hellfire when you depart. He'll dump you in the hellfire when you depart. Oh, Aisha, I still feel the pain after the food I ate in Khaybar. Allah is cutting my aorta.
Allah is a false God, a false God, a false God. Allah is a false God, a false God. Allah is a false God, a false God, a false God. Allah is a false God, a false God. And Muhammad is not a prophet. Muhammad is not a prophet. If you want grace and mercy and love, Islam is not for you. But Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. Jesus is the King of Kings who died to save us all. If you just repent and believe He took your sins on the cross, then mercy and grace, forgiveness and love, eternity can be yours.
Hallelujah, let Lord Jesus Christ shine forth. Good evening, everyone. Hope everyone is well. I'm guessing everyone is very much busy because today, on the 20th of January, lots of things are happening. I think at this time in America, you are getting new president, and in England, we are just like preparing to kind of finish the day. But before the day finished, lots of things happened, and right now you just turn on the telly, it is all about what is happening in America, because British government is so wonderful. You know why they are so wonderful? A Muslim gets out of his house, takes a taxi to go and then murder kids in the intention of committing genocide, and then people riots about it. Our government decides His court hearing is gonna be today. Why? Because everyone is focused on what is happening in America. It was only short few hours that you get the headlines on Sky News, BBC, and other channels that actually what is happening in England. Everyone is focused on what is happening in America because British government is just so amazing. They don't want you to talk about certain things. I'm just getting so much annoyed with like this Southport attacker and how the government is handling. Police have enough time to call people and then say, well, remember, you cannot talk about these things. They just put everything under the rug, but they don't have time to hunt down terrorists and then deal with them. I'm just like, well, anyway, that's my complaint. Well, Adam, you might be thinking, yeah, he was an Islamic murderer. He downloaded Al-Qaeda devices, all those kind of things. That's according to you. Media is not expressing that. No one wants to tell us, oh yeah, he converted it into Islam. The mosque he was attending was radical mosque. No one is expressing to us that. It's only what we are picking up on the news. People who are in power and in authority knew who this guy was, but they choose to hide the informations. And police is telling me, well, you can't talk about it. You can't talk about it because they want no one to talk about it. Anyway, that's like my kind of evening complaining. Anyway, so I was reading this Guardian article. So far, Guardian is the one kind of published the general article. And I want to go through a couple of things in that article and then bring certain things to our attention. And I don't think any of you needs to be Einstein. What are the essentials has been missed? It has been missed that he converted into Islam. It has been missed that he was under the he's identified himself as a Muslim. It has been missed that, oh, this is a terror attack. It has been missed that a life of children who has been taken actually important. His intentions are being missed. He's been like passed on to the, or investigated to pass on to the prevent for 3 times since he's 14 years old. Imagine, as a teenage, he's been radicalized. Of course, no one knows how, because he's acting by himself. This is like amazing. Muslims, they just become a Muslim and then suddenly they want to do everything by themselves. And then anyway, I'm just like very much annoyed. People end up in prisons because government intentionally choose to hide information. And at this stage, they are still intentionally choosing to hide information as well. Concerning, really, really concerning. Anyway, well, one of the positive things come out of this is now we can see, I was going to say his face. Oh, that's not the picture of his face. Let me just find the picture of his face. Because we have the picture of his face, finally. Let me take this down and then show you a picture of his face. This is him. Finally, they decided to stop publishing his childhood picture, because all over the media, it was all about this lovely child schoolboy. This is his current picture. Yeah, That's the Muslim murderer of 3 kids. 3 kids done in the intention of genocide. And of course, he turned up to court today. Again, he chose to hide his face wearing this medical mask. Therefore, you get to see his pictures again with his face is covered. You wonder what is he ashamed of. Clearly, he was not ashamed of anything. Therefore, you might be thinking, oh yeah, he was ashamed of something, therefore he hid his face. No, that was not the case at all. When judge asked him to stand up, he didn't even bother to stand up. That is very, very common thing you get to see when Muslims don't recognize the judge. They don't want to show any respect. Therefore, they don't even bother to stand up or that kind of thing. So back a couple of months ago, he pleaded not guilty. Okay? He was asked if he's pleading guilty or not. He was silent. That interpretation was as he pleaded not guilty. And today, he pleaded guilty. Today, he pleaded guilty. Why? I wonder why. He committed the crime as a teenager. He was 17. He pleaded guilty. His lawyer doesn't want to do defense of him. No explanation of anything is going to come out. That means he's not going to be behind the bars as a life sentence. Very soon, he will be out on the streets. Right now, he's enjoying all those radical books in prison. He's enjoying to practice his Islamic faith in prison. What did government offer him for him to say, I plead guilty? I seriously wonder. Since it wasn't mental illness at all. Anyway, let me just put up a couple of things from the article which Guardian published, and then bring a couple of things to your attention. So he pleaded guilty. That means he took all the 10 charges against him. And those 10 charges is not, there are a couple of things. For example, he was aimed to do it and he didn't do it, and then time went on. It has nothing to do with these things. These are from the moment he decided to murder children and afterwards, okay? So murdering of 3 kids, and I'm sure you all kind of knew, or I don't know if it is public knowledge or not, but one of the girl was beheaded. One of the child was beheaded. And the 3 girls that has been murdered, at least stabbing child head was 6 stabbing. A 6 stabbing. Think about it. A man following this magical ideology is quite okay to behead a child and stab a child 6 times in the intention of murdering. Anyway, so he pleaded guilty for 10 charges, and one of the charges was he's got these Al-Qaeda manuals in his house, and he's got things that he's kind of doing chemicals to do some interesting and dangerous things. Of course, it has nothing to do with Islam. Of course, it has really, really nothing to do with Islam. Because those things has nothing to do with Islam. A teenage boy conversing to Islam, attends the mosque, watch Al-Qaeda, read through Al-Qaeda manuals, goes through what is happening in Libya, goes through what happened in London, and he gets police's attention. He gets police's attention. But they just ignore him. Why? Because he's just lovely Muslim, teenage Muslim. He wouldn't do anything. Think about it. Like, police calls you and then says, oh yeah, your life is in danger, but don't worry. It's just like this teenage who just like struggling to find his way in the world. He's not going to do anything. These kind of teenagers. Yeah, he's it. So this is article from Guardian, okay? I put the screenshots because Guardian is a newspaper, simply makes criminal heroes. Okay? That's what they do. And this is the article they published. And then let's go through a couple of things in the article. He was obsessed with genocide, one of the senior officers said. He could name every genocide in history and how many people were killed. Rwanda, Genghis Khan, Hitler. It's all he wanted to talk about it. Why is talking about Rwanda genocide? Because his father was very much responsible, apparently. He had close connection to genocide than most other British youth. His father, Afonso, is thought to have fought with Rwanda Patriots Army, an army forced that battle to Hutu-dominated region in Rwanda, and eventually brought to the end the mass ethnic killing in 1994. His father is what? What his father is? Involved with genocide. And what are they doing in England? Well, you can commit a crimes in different countries. Even that crime is genocide. You can come to England and get asylum. It talks about his father, who is now 49. RPA officer reported to have been an RPA officer, possibly relatively senior, based in neighboring Uganda. Okay, so we know a little bit about his family. What is his father? Who is intention to commit genocide and murder people because of their tribe. His family's background is mystery to the vast majority of those who knew him in Southport. So he didn't travel from somewhere else to come to Southport. He was only 5 miles away from Southport. So he's local. Why would people, after murdering of 3 kids, why would people want to attack the mosque in Southport? Maybe some people just recognized him from that mosque. By July 29, the day of his attack, local authorities knew enough to view him as a concern. Another strange thing, isn't it? Government knows about it. They know enough that raises concern, but what do they do? What do they do? Nothing. They do just nothing. They do just nothing. Neighbors said they saw police cars outside of the family's smart semi-detached home in the village of Banks half a dozen times in the weeks before the attack. Someone who is involved with genocide is living in Britain and have smart, semi-detached home in this beautiful village. I don't know what kind of job they do so that they are able to get these smart houses. Well, I guess committing genocide simply qualifies you. You can go and then you can, in your home country, you can commit a crime. This is not a crime that you stole a croissant from the shop in the intention of killing a tribe, genociding Hutu people. And then you can come to England and have this very comfortable life. Very comfortable life. Neighbors are seeing these police cars in his house. So police has been in his house many times. For what? Oh, give us cookies. We came for cookies. That's one of the things police do. Police come to your house and then say, oh yeah, how are you doing? We want to talk to you. And then you give them cookies and then they just tell you the things and then they leave. By the 29th of July, he caused enough concern by the police and police did nothing. Of course, those of you who are curious is, if in England, when you decided to get asylum in the country, you need a lawyer. You might be thinking, well, who might be his lawyer, helped his family to get asylum? Who comes alongside of the criminals in Britain and allowed criminals to declare safety in the country? You name it. You name it. So before he pleaded not guilty, and today he pleaded guilty of murdering 3 young girls, 3 kids actually, and attempting to murder 10 others in the dance class. In the worst target attacked on children in Britain since Dumbala Massacre. Someone went after the kids. And when he was doing that, he was 17 years old. Pleaded guilty to possessing terrorist materials and producing the toxin resin. No, police is not terrified. Police is not terrified. Police wants to be dhimmi. Authorities wants to be dhimmi. Authorities wants to please individuals and then live comfortable life. Police doesn't care about upholding the law and protecting you. Police doesn't do that in England anymore. Police is terrified. No. Police is quite happy. They just like, oh yeah, let it continue, let it continue. So, turning up the court today, he's wearing COVID blue mask style face mask. He confirmed his identity. He refused to confirm his identity and refused to stand up in front of the judge. The judge usually asks you to stand up when you need to speak. What does he do? Who cares about the judge? I've been in a couple of Muslim hearings, terrorist hearings. They don't even care about judge. They don't even recognize the judge to stand up. After short discussion between the defendant and his barrister, indictment to be put to him again. He then pleaded guilty to all charges and in very audible voice. Yeah, I am very much aware that I need to be careful what I say. You get voicemails, police tells you to be careful what you are saying. It's not our government doesn't like truth. Our government enjoys putting his people in danger so that they can live comfortable life. Kids are being murdered and you are still need to be like, oh, silent. Beautiful. I just think it's just beautiful. So he pleaded not guilty before and now he's pleading guilty. Why? What has changed? There was no remorse at all. If he's feeling guilty, yeah, I am guilty what I have done, you would say, forgive me for what I have done to your kids. No, he doesn't even want to stand up on the face of judge. Yeah, what is the deal people are offering him? I was like very concerned when police says, oh yeah, we want you to be here on the 20th June because we've got this here, January, because we've got this hearing. I'm just like, why are you picking that day? There were lots of other dates. But anyway, this is just like lovely, lovely, lovely British government. After entering the guilty pleas, he sat, hunched towards his head and bowed. Ah, yeah. Suddenly I'm camera shy now. I need to cover up my face. I need to cover up my face. Muslim murderer took a taxi on 29th of July to the dancing, where the dancing class was taking place, a community center in Southport, about 5 miles from his home. As I said, he doesn't live in different part of the world. He's not traveling from Wales. He's not traveling from Scotland. He just lives 5 miles away from where those kids are. Very close to his mosque. Very close to his mosque. And then he turns up there with a knife. As I said, one of the kids was beheaded. A child. One of the child was beheaded. People who expressed their concern about it, who went to riot, they're in prison now, most of them. Even individual who expressed that he was Muslim is in prison now. To simply saying he was a Muslim. So what was he? Hindu? You go to the local mosque in Southport. You have Al-Qaeda magazines. You convert it into Islam. And you are still not Muslim when you go and murder kids. And of course, it has been expressed, this is not a terrorist attack. Why is it not terrorist attack? Because he didn't say. Because he didn't say this is terrorist attack. That's the reason it's not terrorist attack. So for something to be terrorist attack, what they need? Attacker needs to say, this is terrorist attack. He needs to express his motives. And it needs to be done by a bomb or gun. So if you try to murder someone with knife, that doesn't count as terrorist attack. So therefore, it is not terrorist attack. Because remember when they took him in, and then that day by 4:30, they were in his house. They find all these Al-Qaeda magazines, Al-Qaeda materials. Because he chose to stay silent, therefore, and he didn't have the bomb, and he didn't have the knife in his gun in his hand, therefore it's not a terrorist attack. That's the criteria for something to be terrorist attack. You can murder hundreds of people, and if you are doing that with a car or with a knife, that's not a terrorist attack. And when you choose to stay silent, because what police says to you when they arrest you is everything you say is going to be might be used against you. So therefore, you have right to stay silent. So he chooses to stay silent, and it has been declared not a terrorist attack. And he shows no remorse. Think about it, like still no remorse. Of course he's not going to show any remorse. He's dealing with the kafirs. He has very comfortable life in jail, in prison. What do you expect him to say, like, oh, I am sorry? This is the more... So it is not a terrorist attack, and it has nothing to do with Islam, according to newspapers, okay? Here's other article from Guardian. So he's 18 now. When he committed the crime, he was only 17. He was referred to Prevent in 2019. 2019, how many years ago? 4 years ago. 4 years ago, there were concerns about him. So when he was only 13, 14. Prevent is the group like deals with the kind of terrorists, apparently helps terrorists to readapt the life, all that. So we will come to that, what it is all about. So age 14, 13, police says, yeah, this guy needs to be passed on to the people who deal with the terrorists. But so he was referred to Prevent 3 times. The government scheme to stop terrorist violence. One of the refers followed concern about him, potential interest in the killing of children in school massacre, it is understood. So, someone is referring him to Prevent so that in the intention, yeah, this guy might go after school kids. This guy might go after school kids. But what happens? His behavior, including his apparent interest in violence, was assessed by Prevent as potential concerning, but he was deemed not to be motivated by a terrorist ideology or pose a terrorist danger, and was therefore not considered suitable for the counter-radicalization program. So they are very much aware that one of his interests is, there are a couple of other interests he had apparently. One of his interests is killing the school children. But the individuals who does the counter-radicalization program decide, oh no, he doesn't fit the criteria. He was 17 when he murdered 3 kids last summer. Was first referred to the Prevent in 2019 when he was 13 years old. 13 years old. A father to refers made in 2021, and all when he was school child living in Lancashire. Age 13, people says, yeah, he's gonna attack human beings. We need to do something about it. And then they decide, oh no, there is nothing we need to do. He's all good. Age 15. No need to do anything. No need to do anything. We don't need to do anything. After one of the refer, it was commanded that he to be referred to the other services. It is not known if this happened. Well, he doesn't need to be radicalized because he doesn't have motivated by terrorist ideology. Yeah, we cannot say Islam is terrorist ideology because Islam is so wonderful. Allah and his angels does cause terror in the hearts of human beings. Muhammad is just a terrorist. Therefore, he doesn't have any terrorist motivations. He's fine. He is fine. Prevent is an official program to identify those feared to be failing for terrorist ideologies and turn them away from carrying out violence. Children and adults referred to this program are assessed, and if they are deemed to pose sufficient risk, work is done to reduce that danger. Remember the gentleman, Muslim gentleman, who just got out of the prison and then murdered people in London a couple of years ago? Yeah, he was attending the program of Prevent that day to tell, oh yeah, I am successfully de-radicalized. People are forgetting the power of taqiyya. Actually, no, they are not forgetting. They are ignoring the power of taqiyya. Apparently, deciding the murdering children is not high risk. That's not sufficient enough risk. Yeah. Having interest to genocides, not sufficient enough risk. What else? Having Al-Qaeda magazines is not sufficient enough. That's not sufficient enough. Therefore, he's on our streets. Therefore, he thinks, killing 9-year-old girl, 6 years and 7-year-old girl. Yeah, I can get away with those things. What is it sufficient enough for someone to be watched? People can turn up to your place with chemicals to throw acid on you, but that's not still sufficient enough because they have not thrown the acid. People can hunt you down to murder you because they haven't murdered you. That's not sufficient enough. A young man who converting to Islam goes and then expresses his interest in genocide, murdering kids. That's still not sufficient enough. Why? Because those kids are not the kids of the people who are in the authority. Government doesn't care about those kids. No. Government doesn't care about those kids. On Monday, he pleaded guilty to terrorism offense, possessing a document called Military Studies in Jihad Against Tyrants. What is the document he has? Military Studies of Jihad. Al-Qaeda Training Manual. And the biological toxin resin, holding that. Producing that. So, still it's not terrorist attack. Still there is not sufficient risk to the Britain because of him. And still, it has nothing to do with Islam. There is not one sentence in this article expresses. There is not one sentence in this article expresses that he is a Muslim. He was a Muslim. Just article doesn't share the information with you. Article doesn't share the information with you. He's studying military studies in jihad. He's got Al-Qaeda training manual. And yeah, stupid British police, stupid British government are willing to put human life in danger who are not Muslim. Police says that despite extensive searches and investigation here, there is no evidence of terrorist motivation. Those people shouldn't be police at all. Someone is studying the material on jihad. They have got Al-Qaeda manual. They are dealing with the chemicals. They are attending the mosque. And we don't know, actually we have no evidence it is terrorist motivation. Wow. As I said, some people shouldn't be police at all. These officers who kind of makes that judgment should be in prison. Seriously, they should be in prison. So after government figured out on the 29th of July, who is this guy, how much involvement our current prime minister have, and our current government missed out all the opportunities, what one of the things they do is, okay, let's do review if we missed anything. Because when media finds out, some of them might be sharing this information. Oh no, don't worry, we will stop that. We will play with the laws so that people won't figure out this. Yeah, I know, people are so stupid. We are very stupid. We read these articles and then we see, oh yeah, he's got, he's studying jihad, military jihad. Yeah, he's got Al-Qaeda manuals, training manuals. He's got all those chemicals. So what? It has nothing to do with Islam, because Islam is so peaceful religion. Even though he's attending the mosque regular stuff, you know, still this has nothing to do with Islam. Put all this, put those people who are in authority in prison, put all these police officers in prison as well, all of them. So they go through the program and then they figure out, oh yeah, there was nothing make us concerned that he needed to go to prevent. He was all fine. We didn't miss anything. Yeah, a teenage is studying jihad, expressing his love for love and interest for genocide, have got Al-Qaeda manuals, attending this lovely mosque. But yeah, that's not the criteria for someone to go and get de-radicalized. We all in Britain should feel very unsafe if this is what is our police officers are doing. And actually, it shouldn't be that in that sentence. This is what our police officers are doing, how they are trained. Just so stupid. Those asylum seekers come to country with their criminal background, and then they've got these very smart houses in banks. Very nice area. He was first referred to the Pervent over concern he was looking at material about school masquerades in USA. That's when he's 15. Not 15, he's 13. No, 2019. So that's when he's in 2019. And his fascination with violence. Father like son, son like the father. Whatever you see from your father, that's something you practice. You learn from your father. Doesn't matter how old they are, how young they are. Doesn't matter their gender, because they are not like us. Therefore, we can murder them. That's what it is. So he learns these things from his wonderful father. You know, it's like when father holds a bicycle and then teaches you how to cycle. It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. So he kind of looks at those materials. He's interested in violence to the school attendants and masquerades, all that. And what happens? By early 2020, after the first referral to the previous years, it was assessed that he did not fit for the criteria for a voluntary program, but he should go to the other services. Think about it. Just a second. So think about it. He's got all those things. And still, oh yeah, he doesn't fit the criteria for voluntary program. Why is this program even voluntary at the first place, actually? This program is just rubbish. This program puts more human lives in danger. It's all about denial, and individuals who are attending this program, most of them practices this wonderful taqiyya. Pretend to be someone else while you are not. 2 years later, in 2021, he was referred to prevent again viewing materials on Libya and past terrorist attacks, including those in London 2017. But still, he does not fit with the criteria to get de-radicalized. Yeah. Our police is awful. Our government is awful. They are intentionally putting our lives in danger, especially when they are limiting very essential informations and not sharing those very essential informations. See, this peaceful young boy, he's so peaceful, this young boy, didn't fit with the criteria. We missed opportunities for him to go and murder people. Yeah, that's what we are going to do. We are just going to tell people to not talk about it. When you talk about it, when you express your concerns, you are going to get into prison. I find it's all very concerning. I would love to know. When did police know? When did police know the things this gentleman was downloading his computer? You download ISIS magazine in the morning. By lunchtime, police turns up to your house to tell you, why are you looking ISIS magazines? So this Mr. Muslim have Al-Qaeda magazines. When did police figure that out? Before, way before 29th of July, 4:30 p.m. Way before that. And they choose to do nothing about it. I would love to know, how come people who are involved with genocide gets very comfortable life in Britain? Your next door neighbor is not the one who is enjoy making falafels. No, your next door neighbor might be the one who just murdered people because of their tribe, because those people were different from them. Therefore, they turn up your neighborhood. Oh, they were not safe anymore. Why? Because we committed genocide. And I feel I might get harmed. Therefore, I'm going to go to the country to get asylum. Oh, I know. It's very good. When I get asylum, I get all these luxuries comes with asylum. Think about that. I would love to know what was the intention of the involvement of Prime Minister to his family. When is those things I'm going to able to talk about it. Well, currently, we cannot talk about it. Why it took months for police to tell us the involvement of this gentleman with Al-Qaeda? Why did it take months? Why people went to prison simply saying this gentleman is Muslim while he is Muslim? What is it government is trying to cover up? How much money people are being paid to shut up? How much people are being paid to be shut up? Why would intentionally his hearing starts on the 20th of January and suddenly the gentleman who who did not feel guilty suddenly feels guilty. What is the deal they offered him? You know what? He's not going to get life sentence at all. Oh, I was only 17. Yeah, I was underage when I murdered those kids, and I plead guilty, so I will get less sentence. Yeah, within a couple of months, you will be able to hang out with him on the streets. Maybe he will come and then do dawah to you, invite you to his mosque. That's the very gentleman, very, very gentleman, who beheads a child, beheading a child. Anyway, I was just feeling all stressed about this because you're not allowed to talk about it, because you cannot share the informations you know, but also the cover-up is being put forward. When people say it has nothing to do with Islam, when people say this is not terror attack, just keep in your mind, maybe it might, terror attack thing maybe does not fit on the paper, but it's a terror attack. It is a terror attack. It is very Islamic attack done to your kids. When people say, oh yeah, we don't know what is his motive, they are simply playing dummies. They know what is their motives. They know what is their motive. They are motivated by the book called Quran. They are motivated by the teachings of Muhammad. Therefore, everyone who is not like them goes and gets suffered, get murdered. That's the intention. That's the whole intention. Anyway, thank you for joining me to talk about this and listening me. Keep eye on the news, the one which has been shared with you, and think critically when you read those news. What is it they're hiding from you? Did you know, like in England, you are told to not read C.S. Lewis, but you can read Quran and practice it. That's what the country came to. Seriously, as I said, put them all in prison and put their supporters in prison. All those police officers and individuals who work for Prevent, they all need to be in prison. They all need to be in prison. The people who are our rulers right now, they all need to be in prison. Greedy, lustful individuals are willing to put the life of kids in danger. It doesn't make you angry that much when it is adult or those kind of things, but when you know it is a child, and when you know that child is being beheaded, and then gentleman who is in the court doesn't even stand up to say his name. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I am guilty now. Why? Because the deal I am offered. Anyway, guys, I will see you in a couple of hours on the live stream with Robert Spencer, where we'll be talking about going through this wonderful book called Quran. Until I see you, God bless you and keep safe. As I said, once again, thank you very much for joining me and listening me. God bless you all.